All right, here's a basic review of my, I guess you want to call it my filtration system. This is part of it. It's got a 40 ground beater. The overall setup is 780 gallons, I believe, total. But as you can see, I've got a 40 gallon breeder drill with an automatic overflow return on it. Returns about 3,000 gallons an hour. Here's where the overflow comes back in. There's 5 gallons of bottle bottles there. It's got 3 5-inch Swiss Tropical foam that completely cover the tank. And I got a couple extras. As you can see, the water's a little low right now. That's simply because I just cleaned out the system a little bit so that I could actually show you. What I want to show you today is how to breed fish. But this is a very important part of it. Because on 750 gallons, I'm changing 400 gallons a week. Automatic overflow. If I'm really trying to breed my fish, I'm changing it every couple days. But right now I'm breeding fish so easily that I really don't have the time, want to waste the money or the stress of the constant overflow. So basically, I'm going to show you what my filtration. I actually cleaned the front of the glass of some of my tanks today, just to give you an idea of what generally a setup for good breeding is. A lot of people have different philosophies, okay? My system is just for breeding to me. Very few people ever get to come to my fish room, so they really don't get to see it, okay? This is my breeding setup, and I'm gonna start with this because, well, for one, these little spot lips are hard to spawn. As you can see, the male's right here, and as he's not very afraid, that lets you know that they are either breeding or, you know, they're getting ready to. Because see the light green line, you won't be able to see the female. I did clean the algae off. This is what my normal algae looks. I cleaned it across the outside and the back. I let it grow freely on the tank. And if you get down here, you'll actually see her start to pot her head out. She's in here. She's laid about 2 days ago. And I expect Fry to be free swimming in a week or so. I will actually take them out. I've got 2 pair of them here. On this side, I'm hoping to get both pairs to spawn at the same time, which usually happens. And boy, he does not care for me being here. Did not clean the outside class, because really don't have a need or the time. If you just look over to the other tanks, you'll see a large pair of chanchos spawning. Everything's in here, spawn hunting, cutter eye spawning. My jags at the bottom are spawned. My actually young Stagdactyli I got from Cichlids of America have entered breeding color. Well, he doesn't care. He doesn't care for that. But as you can see, this is a breeding setup. For normally, I'll have 4 of these in a 125. I put them in here closer because they were laying eggs too far apart, and I weren't getting good spawns. But I put them in a smaller, confined area, and as you can see, the water's returning. It's dumping this tank about every 10-15 minutes. See at the top. There's a large flow of water. If you look, you can see the flow of the water on the back on the algae. But what generally I would do is, this is the big one, the big male that I've got, and I got even larger female. These things get a lot bigger than what they were advertised. As you can see how shy this one is, the male. This lets you know the difference in behavior once they spawn. I cleaned out all the algae. I do it once a month because it just gets too much. I actually put things in here to make the algae grow. Over here is an older tank that I'm not cleaned, and you can see these are the true green terrors out of Ecuador. And then here's the Placo from Ecuador that cleans it out. This is what the tank usually, that green algae usually covers all these tanks. But when I suck it off, it covers just the brown part. As you can see here, I left a little bit on there, and it changes colors as it goes. But in the end, once I suck it off, let it grow for about a month, the entire tank will be green. It really adds a really nice look to the tank. Gives it a natural feel. The fish feel comfortable. When I walk up on these guys, they very even react, even with Fry, to me to come. So it hasn't had a chance to really clean out yet, being that I just scraped it all off. But the filtration system will pull it all out within a matter of, a day. Even the part that's on the back of these pots will be sucked off in that time. You can see a lot of it settled on the bottom. About a day afterwards, it'll float up and it'll be taken down. It's got a 1-inch drain back there in the corner, and it'll take it all out. That's actually a sponge filter that I left in the back. Well, it's not really a sponge filter. It's just a like that white cleaning cloth. I wrapped it up in a circle and tied it. Algae grows on it real good, and when the fry are hatched, they'll eat off of it. I actually had fry just for one day of wigglers on this, and I lost them. I know I've told Ken that I'm going to pull them, but I wasn't home, and we had this winter storm, and I just couldn't get back in the end. So what will happen is, as soon as these guys get wigglers, all 4 of these fish will go back to their 125, and I will grow the wigglers out in this tank and actually shut this tank off from the system. But when you look at most breeding systems, most people keep them just too clean. I mean, it's just a simple fact that fish are not used to this brightness. The algae grows on top, it dims the light. These are LED lights. Basically, you want it to be as natural as it can be. These fish live in rapids, so I'll have a real high flow. Chanchos are from a lake, so I put less water coming out of them. As you can see, it's got more of air bubbles coming in. Actually releasing a little air into it. It's not as much water, and it gives them up. But once these chanchos babies start free swimming, this algae will disappear in a matter of a week. So you want to keep it. I actually wish I would have left the green algae on this tank, and as you can see, it's stirred up really well, and the system will clean it out. And looking at this tank, there's a bunch of my grow outs that I'm getting ready to sell. It's just really filled with algae. They'll go in, they'll completely clean it out. The filtration system will, and basically it'll clean everything up for me. So really don't like to keep it to where I can see through it this clearly. And up here is an example. You can see where that's got the green algae growing on top. I've actually pulled it. Interesting thing about these chanchos, these are probably the last one from the Wilhelm Hingis line. I got some of these from my friend Jeremy, where Wilhelm brought them over, the first group that was brought into the U.S. And this is actually one of the females from that. She's about 11 and a half, I think, last time I measured her. And this is a male that I bred and got back. I actually have some of the Cichlid America chanchos at work, and but I keep these completely separate because with all the cichlids that get mixed up in the U.S., whether that was what happened with the Sagetis and the Kilowenzas that Wilhelm sent over. So I just try to protect that because I can protect this line. Down here, I have a clean glass, but you can see my Honduran Jags. Here's about a 11-inch young male, and there's a 15-inch male in there behind that pot. Just basically the little system, and we're going to end up with these guys. I'm going to bring the thing up. You can see he does it. They're normally a real shy fish, but he just got a little more aggressiveness to him. As you can see, he just does not care for us to be around his spawning spot. Really simple spawning. I've used tubes in the past where they both can spawn, but these guys are a little bigger. I actually put the glass up here, used the clay pot up, the female sticking her head out. She can see me from the bottom, so she's not really liking it. They are, yeah. It'll be really nice to get some F1s of these in the hobby so people can breed them. But this is one of my 2 systems. Really had good success with this. Matter of fact, I'm using really rare fry as food simply because I've got so many I can't use them. I got 4 spawns of Honduran Jags. I got 2 spawns of Reaganite. Losel I have spawns of, and Amphilophus. I just have way too many. I'm gonna get me a real big predator fish as a pet fish, then I can get rid of maximums. But as you can see, these guys are really acting well. About 8-inch male, which I think Ken told me is about as big as they got in the wild, but in captivity they're going to get a lot bigger. We feed them a lot, and he's doing real well. I almost thought I saw a wiggler there. Probably algae moving, but I will try to get a video of these guys up as soon as they have fry. But this time I'm going to pull them. Then again, I've had some people ask about these true green terrors. I got about 50 here. I've got another bucket that's just a little bigger, 2 weeks older of a spawn, and I plan on getting those into the hobby. But to be honest, I raise fish, and then Ken gives me something more expensive and rare, and it's a way for me to pay for my own hobby without having to take money out of my personal bank account. Spawning fish has always been real easy. I think a lot of it was, maybe it was just I was lazy at the beginning when I come across this, but all my friends would have trouble spawning fish, and it would be simple for the fact that their tanks would be crystal clean. And I understand that. If you got a tank in your bedroom or your office, you have to do that because you can't really have that natural look. But to me, to have their fish as close to their natural environment is important, and because I want healthy fish. Like I say, Ken brought this jag back on his first trip, and I got the female from Mo at Aqua Mojo, and that gave me my start on the Honduran jags. Like I say, you just won't get a female with more yellow and blue in it than this subspecies. And the reason I'm keeping this young male is because my old male is just getting old. And, you know, I'll get a good video of him. He's hiding right now because I cleaned off the glass. Well, there he comes. And as you can see, he's big, he's old, but he's still producing the babies. They've got flying there right now. You'll see the little guy swimming. He's a really nice looking fish. That's a 15-inch spot. He's right at 15 inches, which is really big for that species. Which brings up another fact that I actually believe this species crossed with the yellowhead, which makes it have all the that really good, beautiful color. Over here I didn't clean it all, but you'll see a grow out sinks. It's the fish I'm working with. Low Sali, Rusty Wessels, Red Devils, some Oregoni from Cichlids of America, and a little bit of everything. That's going to be a really nice, you're going to be a really nice male Red Devil, True Labiatum. Going to have a really nice hump to him. Going to be a good looking fish. Got some Brebora in there. Got some little Brebora up here. These little things can really live well. As you can see, that water's starting to clean out a little bit. It'll take it a good day with as much as I messed it up. You see that these chanchos and everything swimming so much, they just keep it pushed up. Filtration system will suck it out. You know, so it's really going well. These guys got fry in the back there. That's really cool. But I hope this gives you a little idea of what I'm looking for. I know a lot of people can't really do it because you don't have access to a fish room. But if you got access to a fish room and there's a fish you really want to spawn, let the algae grow in your tank. I can't get algae if I don't put like fertilizer in these tanks for the algae. It dies because the system just will, keeps everything cleaned out and it changes the water so often. So if you really want to spawn them, give it a try, and I think you'll have good success. Glad you was able to come see my fish room. I usually keep it open if anybody wants to visit. You know, it's just I travel a lot, so you have to make an appointment. But hope you enjoy, and Ken, I'll send you these guys soon.